So I thought this was crazy because with that evidence, um, eventually the brothers got off and they charged Jussie Smollett. And Jussie Smollett went to county jail for a while. I forgot his exact sentence, but he didn't do all of his sentence. I don't know if he did a few months in jail or whatever, but he didn't do that much time. Eventually, he got out. But the point of it is that it's interesting because now he's still claiming that some white guys beat him up. So in the documentary, what's interesting is that the documentary makers are casting doubt on whether Jussie Smollett was guilty of making this up. So they go get the same footage the police have seen, and most of the footage doesn't show the face because they had on masks. There's one piece of footage that had an image where you could see one of the people, let's say one of the two guys. And the documentary makers are like, well, this guy is white because Jussie claimed that the guys were white. That was the whole issue. Jussie claimed that the guys had on masks, but he could see that they were white. And the Asandero brothers are obviously black, dark skinned black, Nigerian brothers. So the whole thing is like, okay, if Jussie really saw somebody that was white, then that would mean that this incident really happened. And then some guys really beat him up and said, this is MAGA country, faggot, and all this stuff. So I don't believe, I don't believe that Jussie is telling the truth. I think he's still lying all these years, and I think he wants to rebuild his image. And I think this documentary, here's the thing about time. Time with time you can change anything. With time you can rechange imagery. Even if there's evidence in something, with time people forget, right? Even recently, like I think last year they had came out with a Scott Peterson documentary, and the whole documentary went over the case. And Scott Peterson's case was always circumstantial, but they went through that case, and the documentary makers for that one cast a lot of doubt on Scott Peterson's conviction. So, but Jussie Smollett, here's the thing. Then this is the whole point of why I'm even talking about this. The difference is that like I said, I could not stop pausing this video and talking. So, because my wife was like, well, just let it keep playing. I'm like, yo, why would this happen? Why would that happen? Here's the thing. In any documentary, when you bring up to cast doubt on someone who's been convicted of something or blamed for something, you have to come up with an alternate theory. Alternate theories are important. So to me, what they were doing at the end, towards the end of the documentary, this is like the last 15 minutes of it. They were like, well, the Chicago police is known to be corrupt, and there's pieces out of some of the footage of the footage that they caught of the two images who were supposed to be Jesse's attackers. And there's one piece of footage where you can actually see the side profile of the person's face unmasked, and they're like, well, that's a white man, in that image, not a black man, like, what I'm saying. And Jesse claimed that the attackers were white. So I'm looking at, and this is a CCTV image, so it's grainy and weird looking. It still looked like a black dude to me in that image. But the theory is they're claiming at the end, these are the two investigative reporters, and like I said, I think they helped produce a documentary. They're claiming that, oh, you know what? The police, Chicago police, are known to be corrupt, and they forced the Asandero brothers to confess that they set up Jussie Smollett. And I'm like, I need an alternate theory. I need to know, because at the end of the day, they did track the Asandero brothers to the ride share, the Uber or whatever, a ride share, and track them using the app. They were able to see that those two brothers were out in the streets that night in a polar vortex at 2 to 3 a.m. in Chicago. They were there. They were outside. So my whole thing is that if Jussie Smollett is telling the truth, if he's saying that there really was two white guys who attacked him, because they also, during the trial, or during the documentary, not the trial per se, but in the documentary, they had two witnesses who claimed that they saw One guy worked for one of the hotels and claimed he saw a white guy run past him. And there was another woman who was walking a dog who claimed she saw a white guy kind of just standing there on the corner somewhere near where the attack happened. But the question is that what is the alternate story? What is the alternate story, right? Because there was never any footage of any other two people running. So if those two people in the image are the Osendero brothers, then obviously Jussie paid them to set it up because they knew Jussie, right? If it's not the Osendero brothers and it's two random white guys, or not two random white guys, but two white guys who beat him up, quote unquote, where did those guys go? Because the only two images that they have in all the footage tie back to the ride share, back to the north side, and went about a block or two away from the Osendero brothers' homes. So my thing with the documentary is that if you're going to claim that Jussie Smollett could have been telling the truth, okay, fine. My thing is that, okay, what is the alternate story? Give me an alternate story to say, okay, I can see how this happened. Even if, even if it, even if you can't prove it, you could give me an alternate story to what, because what the police laid out, in my opinion, was clear evidence. They had the ride share, they had tons of footage that tied, the brothers' movement, right? They also had the fact they had a check that Jussie Smollett paid the Osendero brothers, a $3,000 check that the Osendero brothers said was paid to them to beat up Jussie. Jussie said he wrote the check for some steroids because one of the brothers was his personal trainer or whatever. Fine, whatever. But my thing is that what's the alternate story? And like I said, even with the Scott Peterson documentary, they came up with an alternate story that they said, okay, these particular things happened, and people saw Lacey Peterson after Scott Peterson said he was at the out there fishing or whatever, and there was a burglary that happened across the street from the Peterson's house, and there was a van that. I mean, look, there's all my thing is that as long as you have some type of a story, then we can kind of work with it. But the Jussie Smollett documentary, y'all should check it out because they didn't provide an alternate story. Just saying that the Chicago police have a history of being corrupt, and the Chicago police or certain Chicago policemen have a history of being corrupt. That's true, absolutely, just like the LA police do. But it doesn't mean that you discard all the evidence that happened with Jussie Smollett. I think he got caught doing something wrong and he got punished for it. He pretty much destroyed his name. And this documentary is trying to bring doubt to what he got convicted of to hopefully turn his career around. And like I said, watch the documentary, see if they present something because they presented nothing for me to say, yo, okay, maybe he didn't do it. I didn't get that. I didn't get that at all. I think that they presented this documentary to create some level of doubt for you to say, okay, hmm. But I didn't walk away with that. So, but nonetheless, check it out. It's on Netflix. See what's up with it. Again, you are tapped into the Crucial ConvO podcast. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, hit that. Thanks for tuning in. There's tons of things going on. I got a good interview coming on in a couple of days with somebody from Chicago Flips Red. So it's going to be interesting. So Zoe Lay, she's going to be on the show in a couple of days. So this should be cool. But anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know about coffee dates or coffee date. This idea of not going on coffee dates, is it ruining the whole prospect of marriage, love, and a baby carriage and life ever after? Is it ruining it? And also, let me know what you think if you watch the Jussie Smollett documentary. Do you think that it's a possibility that he really did get beat up and really did get a noose around his neck and the prosecutors railroaded him? Let me know what you guys think. It's Crucial ConvO podcast. It's your boy Kojo. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.